In this video, I'm going to give you a little bit of an orientation to the assignment module in Moodle. And the best place for me to do that, because I use the module a lot, is probably right inside of Moodle Mania. So I am going to start by clicking on the Turn Editing On icon, because if you turn editing on, then you have the option of adding an assignment to any of the topic blocks in the center column. And to do that, you can click on Add an Activity. And you can see that there are 4 types of assignments: advanced uploading, online text, upload a single file, and offline activity. Advanced uploading and upload a single file are both kind of like creating a Dropbox for digital files for students. The difference with advanced is that students could also type in some sort of a text note or answer to the teacher if you used that as an option. Online text would be if you posted a question and you wanted students to give a text response just in a text box. And an offline assignment, you could post if whatever the assignment was that the student was doing, they were going to hand in during class face-to-face, and there's no need to submit it digitally. So those are the 4 types of assignments. In Moodle Mania, I have a tendency to use either the assignment where the type of assignment where they put in online text, or I use the digital Dropbox. So I am just going to show you an example of one assignment, and I'm going to click on the update button so you can see the parameters that you would be faced with if you were going to add an assignment. They're pretty simple. You need to put an assignment name, so that's the text that shows up, and I usually make that grammatically correct on the topic block that you've chosen. And then there is a block or an editor so that you can describe the assignment. In this particular example, I have some text. I have an image right here, and then I embedded a YouTube video, which you can do any number of things because you have a pretty sophisticated editing toolbar here. So you can link to external web pages, you could link to files, you could post images, a whole number of things. And then I'm going to go, right now I'm going to go up to this icon, and that minimizes my editing window so that I can show you the other parameters. The grading scale. I do use a grading scale in Moodle Mania because I want to provide you with some feedback, satisfactory, unsatisfactory, or outstanding. But in general, you can use a grading scale that's numerical. But in general, I would assume that most of you would choose no grade. And the reason why you would choose that is because you don't use the Moodle gradebook. Infinite Campus is the place where you enter grades, and so it's different for these online classes, but in general you're not going to use that. I always disable available from, and because if I don't want something to show up in the topic blocks, then I can hide it with the winker or the eyeball. The due date, you might want to have that showing, and the advantage of that is that if you have a due date, the assignment will be listed on the Moodle calendar if you use the Moodle calendar. I generally will say no to this, and you get some other options. I always say yes to resubmitting because I want folks to be able to do it a second time if they actually do digitally submit an assignment. And personally, I like the email alert because I will get an email with a hot link that will bring me right to the student's digital response or the digital Dropbox. I say no for commenting in line because I like to have a separate box where I can comment instead of making comments right inside the text of the student. I never use the group settings, and then you would click and say save and return to course, or save and display if you want to see what that looks like. Now I'm going to say save and display so that you can see what it looks like on the teacher's end if you have used the assignment module for students to actually submit something. You can see up in this upper right hand corner that I have view 14 submitted assignments. So if I click on that, my usual next step is to click on the header that says last modified, because then anybody who has actually submitted this assignment would end up, first time I click it, on the bottom, but if I click it a second time, everybody who's done the assignment ends up at the top. And if I had somebody who had not who I had not graded yet, under the status column it would say grade, and it would be nice and orange, and I could click there, and then I could provide my feedback in this box. And then if I click save changes, then an email will be sent to notify that participant, assuming they have an updated email address in their profile. I'm just going to close this. So this is what it looks like from the teacher's end if you use the assignment module. Now the last thing I wanted to show you is an actual high school teacher who uses the assignment module, and that's Jane Kleiman in her health science class. You can see that there is an icon, so I'm going to hover over this. That's the icon in this particular theme or template that indicates that that's an assignment. And I'll just show you one example. She uses it just purely for the purpose of describing all the major assignments in the health class. And sometimes it serves a greater purpose. If I click on this Brain Place assignment, this is one that's web-based, where the students have a packet and then they answer the questions in the packet by going to a variety of different websites. Well, this is a perfect way for her to make hot links to these various websites so that students don't have to type in long web addresses or long URLs. Every single posting in Jane's health class she made as an offline assignment, because her intention is not for students to digitally submit something like in a Dropbox, but for them to hand in these packets in class, which is not digital. So hope that helps you to understand the assignment module a little bit to help you make a decision if you want to use it.